Okay, so this is the new Meaco fan, which is one of their latest models, I believe. So this was probably released at some point last year in 2024. Just have a look at how accurate the temperature gauge is. You can see here that from my external thermometer, that's measuring as 27.2 degrees. On here it's measuring as 25 degrees. So I think this one's probably more accurate, the external thermometer. So this one's a couple of degrees out. But to be honest, I never really look at the temperature. Just if you feel that your room is hot, then you know you've got to turn on the fan. It doesn't really matter about the numbers. So this is the remote control that you get, which is a nice circular disc pad, quite easy to fit on your hand. The thing about this one is you can fix it to your fan, but when you fix it on there, it doesn't reveal any buttons, so you know you got nothing to press, so you can only control it from here, which I guess makes sense because if you're approaching the fan then you would probably use these. It's just a bit more difficult to get down to table or floor level and poke your finger. It's probably easier to grab the remote control while it's kind of more at head heights and press the buttons on here, but because this is magnetic, it kind of deflects off. The magnetic is more on that side rather than on that side, so you can't hook it up to the fan to show the buttons that way. You can only do it that way, which gives it a cleaner look, I guess, because you don't have buttons here and buttons there, but that is something to be aware of. So let's turn this on. So what we can see here now is 25 degrees on the fan. So let's focus on that one, 25 degrees. So there's a myth about whether using a fan that gets 24 degrees now, does it significantly lower the room temperature. So if I leave this running for a few minutes, if we turn it on now while we're doing the test, and let's see if it moves significantly from 24 degrees. So at the moment we are at level 12 and then number 1. So number 1 is the lowest that I can go to. So I don't know if you can hear the fan noise, but it's really quiet, like whisper quiet. I can't hear the fan at all. Maybe if I'm directly in front of it, I can just feel the wind in my ear, but certainly nothing from the fan. So let's bounce up to number 2 on the settings. Again, whisper quiet. I've noticed that the temperature's gone up to 25 degrees from 24 degrees initially. Okay, this is level 3 noise. A bit of a whirring, but nothing significant. Level 4, level 5, level 6, level 7. Okay, now I can start to hear the noise. So level 6, level 7 is about midway through the range, 12 being the highest. Level 8, level 9, yeah, you can really hear that. Level 10, level 11, and level 12. The thing about this noise, it is quite it's not a clunky whirring noise. So if you can imagine a traditional fan, you can hear it knocking around with the insides rattling around the cage. This one has no rattle at all. So let's try that. So that's not oscillating at the moment. So if we oscillate it up, so there's 3 oscillation levels that goes up and down. So level 1, it probably goes down at its furthest point there, and then the highest point is around here. So it probably goes up by about 40 degrees. Okay, and then let's bump it up to the maximum. So there is a handy little display here, so if we knock it up to 3 here, you can see the dials. If I just go back down to 1 again, can see here the indicator here. Okay, so that's the maximum range, and then it can go left and right as well. So that goes from a range from 1 to 3. So that's number 1, number 2, and number 3. So the good thing about the oscillating system is it moves air around the room. So you're not just constantly pushing air into the same spots. So you won't be left with any hot spots in the room. It will push the air around. So what I tend to do is leave the window open, cut and close a little bit, and then that will push the air out of the room. Okay, so that's basically how it works. In terms of, let's just stop the oscillation, yeah, so you can see how it's moving. That's probably the maximum up and down, left to right it can move. So you can see here the full range of movement. It really is good. So if you're pointing this to you while you're lying in bed, you're not constantly having the same force of air pointing at you. So that's good in that respect. In terms of cable length, I must say it's not very long. I would say it's probably about 1.3 meters long from end to end. So if your sockets are in the corner of the room, like mine are over here, and you plan to have it kind of nearer towards your work desk, then you might need a longer cable. So that's something to think about. Well, I'm really getting that air in my face, that feels so good. So this has been running for about 5 minutes. And as you can see, it's still on around about 25 degrees. So we started off at 24 degrees. We're now at 25 degrees. So that myth about fans cooling the room, it actually doesn't. It just moves air around the room to make you feel cooler. You get that sudden blast of cool air in your face, and that's what the cooling effect is. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I would say that for the costs, you know, you're paying, I think I paid around £100 for this from Costco, and it was delivered really quickly, actually for about 2 days delivery. But yeah, I would not hesitate to recommend this fan at all. Really quiet, easy to control. Bonus is you can turn off the lights on the LED display there and turn it back on again, and you can also mute the system. So I'm clicking on the buttons here, I'm turning it down. As you can see, there's no noise, no beeps coming from the fan, which is really useful because if you've got young ones, that I have little children where this fan could be in, you know, you turn the fan on just before they go to sleep, they fall asleep, you want to turn the fan off, you go into their room, you turn off the fan, last thing you want is a beeping noise which wakes up the children. So really good function. Yeah, really happy, really quiet, so really useful to have in the family home. So yeah, that is my quick review of the new Meaco desktop fan.